Welcome, everybody. My name is Steve, and I'll be your host for today's virtual tour. I would like to thank you all for joining us today, and I'm excited to get things started. Today, we'll be focusing on how to create the perfect school day for any type of student. I would also like to introduce to all our viewers Nisa Jonathan, who is the principal at New Visions Charter High School for Advanced Math and Science 3. Hello, Nisi. How are you today?
Good morning, Steve. I'm well. Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks for taking the time to be with us today. I know you must have an extremely busy schedule, especially during this time. Nisi, can you tell our viewers a few words about yourself and the school?
Yes. So I am the founder principal of New Visions Charter High School. It's a long name for Advanced Math and Science 3. We are one of the schools that has come into Sheepshead Bay campus, which is a DOE school in 2013. Before that, I was a teacher, coach, and assistant principal in the New York City Department of Education. So I started AMS III in 2013 with New Visions. We are a non-selective school in South Brooklyn, New York, with the expectation and standards that we will make sure that we provide the highest level of education to any student in Brooklyn or anywhere in the boroughs of New York. Our success statement is academic success with pride, which actually stands for patience, responsibility, integrity, dedication, and empathy.
Wow, that's amazing. And I must say you have a very impressive background.
Thank you.
And for our
Okay.
viewers, just to make sure that they are in the right place, this webinar is for parents of students in grades 9 through 12 in Brooklyn, New York, who want the best possible education for their kids. Now, before we start, I would like to let our viewers know that in the end, we will be sending to everyone a video on how to raise emotionally intelligent children, an infographic with the ultimate guide for parents with kids at home, tips and tricks you need to stay sane, and of course, the slides from this presentation. So today we will be talking about how things are changing in education, and also how fun facts and photos from the school, and the three things that are unique about New Visions Charter High School for Advanced Math and Science. So let's get started. Nisi, I would like to take this opportunity of having an experienced principal like yourself here to ask a few questions about the short-term changes in education that you foresee today. Now, we have a number of parents watching that are anxious about their children's education. So without further ado, my first question is, how are things changing in education? Will we see a shift to hybrid models of education?
Yes. So I do think that education will need to change in order to be successful, to meet the needs of the students and their future. So communities that integrate the 21st century skills, which is use of technology and use of different kinds of hybrid skills, both within the brick and mortar schools, as well as the way we're doing it online now, it's really, really important. So teacher-driven videos, smart and really thoughtful ways to measure learning beyond just traditional tests are going to be the way we have to drive the future of education.
And let me ask you though, how do you think that this crisis will affect the necessary skill set for future teachers?
Yes. So this is one of the biggest conversations happening right now. It's about teacher training. Besides just, how we're getting the right kind of teaching to students, we're talking right now, and this is a much needed conversation. Teacher training, students, schools that are able to hire, train, and create the systems of support for staff and students that allow them to integrate technology beyond just Google Classroom tasks, right? This has to be something that students will need to learn and teachers will need to learn to navigate in these new times that are ahead. And it's not just because we are doing remote learning, but just because we are in the 21st century and we need to equip our students to be ready for the types of jobs that they are getting ready for. So it as much as these are times that are difficult for our families and for our students, it gives me hope that we're looking and having really good conversations about, state-driven standardized tests. Are these the tests that we're going to use to determine who's going to be successful, or are we going to change the way we're going to train our teachers?
That is very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Now, for my next question, I would like to ask, how will the education landscape change overall?
Yeah. So schools and colleges will have to consider seriously the systems they need to be in place, not just for physical safety of students, but we will have to reconsider, how we're teaching, what we're teaching each student grade by grade. How are we measuring that student learning? And also push secondary schools to think about unique ways to nurture family engagement. We have to get families on our side in order to educate their students. And that's necessary in secondary education. That's how the landscape is going to change.
I couldn't agree more. But let me ask you, how do you think that this crisis will affect your school's education model?
Yeah, so this remote learning model has definitely pushed AMS III to think thoughtfully and around the type of remote instruction we're providing to our families and to our students, and using their feedback, even within the few weeks that we've been out, using their feedback to adjust the model.
It
And
sounds like
these are important things, right? Like,
they are,
yes,
but it sounds,
go
I was
ahead.
going to say, it sounds like you were very quick to adapt to the situation. You were ready actually for this.
So I wouldn't say we were ready, right? I mean, this is just a really unfortunate place to be. But at the same time, I think I have a team. So we're a one-on-one technology school, and we've been that way since 2013. And we are also a school that was built on the backbone of the Google platform. So our staff and students have been using all of these tools continuously since 2013. What needed to change was the fact that we would not have access to them physically, so we needed to think about smart systems by which we can use what we do already and then adapt it to the times and ways that meet the needs of the students. So and it is a system that has been working, and we've used a lot of their feedback along the way in these past 8 to 9 weeks to adjust the model.
Wow, that's very impressive. Thank you so much for your insight. It's extremely important for our viewers to hear that from someone with such experience in education, talking about how things are evolving. Now, these are all very important questions and serious things for our viewers to consider. On a more practical side, we've prepared a fun section for the virtual tour. This is going to be a bit like a game. I would like to ask you, and I'm certain that our viewers will be really interested to know, what are 3 significant numbers about your school?
Yeah. So the first is definitely, there's something that we're very proud of, is 100% of our 3 graduating classes behind us, and the one that is upcoming that has a decision day, right around the corner, is 100%. 100% of them have been accepted into a 4-year or a 2-year college, and they are, and these are not because we ask them to. We have a process by which they and their families are making decisions about the type of schools they want to go to. And that is something that we're very proud of.
It sounds like you should be proud of this. I mean, all of your graduates move on to college. That's what I call perfection, 100%. What about this one?
Yeah, so the second one is definitely that this is not possible without an amazing team. So this is just the 30 teachers. There are over 30 teachers working across the landscape. We are a small school with small classroom sizes. At the same time, the fact that we believe that we can take any student without any selective process, we have very tight systems around intervention, and we have very tight systems to get those kids, even in intervention, into an advanced placement classroom. So they can walk away from high school with college credit, even though they might come a grade or 2 below reading or math. So that is something that we take a great pride in. And it's the work of the teachers, and it's the work of the larger support team that is in the building.
And let's not forget that it's one of the top priorities, the faculty and the teaching staff, when parents are searching for a school for their children. So it's very important.
Yes.
What about this one?
Yeah, so we are a school that is in Sheepshead Bay campus, and Sheepshead Bay, as much as they were, they had to be closed, unfortunately, in 2015. We actually took over their athletic teams. So they always traditionally in Brooklyn for the last many, many years have had very strong athletic teams. And the over 20 PSAO teams are led by our students. And we have coaches from our teaching staff and from our larger operational staff. And these PSAO students are working every day and it's working towards their college access. access. We had many full rides, but even this last year, our city track our track team actually were second in the city, and they were and they're working towards, and they're all freshmen. So it gives me so much, it makes me get excited about that team because they're just 14 years of age and they're doing so well in athletics. So simultaneous success on the academic side will give them so much success on the post-secondary college side.
That is very impressive. Thank you for sharing these numbers with us. It's very interesting to see how much we can get to know about a school, even about a person, using 3 significant numbers as a guide. Next, I'd like to share with our viewers some of the things that take place at your school. So, Nisi, please tell our viewers, what do we see here?
Yeah, so this is how AMS III spaces look. We believe in a very specific type of education called project-based learning, but we also, this is actually a coding project that is going through a presentation. So, and this is just about this time last year, our students, there are multiple coding classes that are happening, from advanced placement computer science principles to introductory coding classes that gives access to different types of students. And then they present their apps. So they create apps like the ones you and I use on phones, right? They create apps and they present it, and this is their peer review. So students from the rest of the school and the community comes to review it and give feedback on how proficient those apps are.
Wow, it sounds like your students have some very advanced skills. What about this photo here?
Yes. Yeah, so this is actually a couple of living environment classes, or what New York State calls biology. This is what we call project-based learning, which is students are almost on a consistent basis are learning and doing and learning from what they're doing. So these are laboratory type classes, and they're not just necessarily sitting in a lecture. There are small lectures, but larger time is spent working with each other, collaborating, collecting data, and creating designs and presenting. So these are students working in a class and then designing a project about whatever the hypothesis they were working towards, and then testing it out and then presenting their solutions to their classrooms or to the larger community. And that's what you see here.
Wow, and honestly, we can't emphasize enough the benefits of a hands-on and inquiry-based approach.
Yes.
What about here?
And so this is graphic arts. We just like we are advanced math and science 3, and many times people think we don't believe in arts because there's so many things to do with math and science, which is not true, right? And the AMS 3 deeply believes that arts and music is incredibly important to promote math and science as well. So here we have graphic arts, which is just graphic arts 1, which is a very basic level. Students are doing Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Publisher, and they're doing the work around creating whatever art pieces and techniques that they are learning. They're presenting it into work. So presentation and defending your work and explaining your techniques that you use is one of the things we use at AMS III in all content areas. So students are not just learning, but they have to create something and they have to present and then defend their work, just like real artists.
Okay, let me find a gallery so your students can display their masterpieces. You know what they say,
Yeah.
a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I
Yeah.
would like to let our viewers know that they can find more photos on the school's social media pages, photos that show everyday life at the school. And let's not forget that every school is different, unique in its own special way. It goes without saying that everyone is magically unique as well. This virtual tour is a way for people who are interested to determine, sitting in the comfort of their own home, whether New Vision's Charter High School for Advanced Math and Science 3 is the right fit for them. So, Nisi, can you share with us 3 unique things about your school?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say, this is our foundational piece, which is what we call an exceptional academic and socio-emotional support. So we believe that amazing things can happen if students are provided both with the amazing academic support that they need, but also socio-emotional support. And that's what we do at AMS III on a daily, weekly basis. There are what we call advisories that are very small mentoring groups that start in 9th grade, and continue all the way to 12th grade. So every faculty member is an advisor, and the intention is that it's not an academic space, so it's not a classroom. It's more for building a community, working with each other, mentoring, kind of having fun, creating some fun rituals with each other. And they become incredibly close by the time they get to their senior year. And that is a huge part of what AMS III believes in. And that is besides the eight counselors and social workers that we have on our team, who are always, we have a robust system of restorative justice, which is our discipline system and our system of taking responsibility for what we do. And this is all beside the academic support that we provide, which is 7 AP classes and multiple interventions. That is the reason why we're able to boast of the numbers we have.
No student left behind. Very impressive. What about this one?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the larger visions of AMS III and of New Visions in particular is that every student and their family must have a real opportunity to go to college. So college may not be the great equalizer, but it's definitely a game changer. And we know that. So, and because of that, we make sure that students have post-secondary classes that are working towards getting them into the right school very early on. We set up parent meetings and parent conversations starting in 9th grade. So we are making sure families understand the work that is coming and also how much we need them in that work. And that starts in 9th grade. And then we have junior seminar and senior seminar, which are like real classes that kids take during the day, and they're getting ready. And like my juniors right now are ready with their personal statements and getting ready for college applications for October. So as soon as they get into senior year, and that is important so they don't get frustrated through this support, because our students and our families are very middle class families that are working very hard, and we want to make sure that they have all the support they need.
That's remarkable. And this one?
Yeah, so project-based learning is the way we do teaching. So our teaching and our teachers training and every coaching that we do is based on project-based learning. And this is the reason why we can boast of other things, because our kids are engaged in classes, and we have been intentionally building our repertoire for STEAM. So I know students and parents are looking for kids not just to get a high school diploma and not just to get an advanced Regents diploma in New York State, but actually take courses that matters in college, in their career. So we have from anatomy and physiology to environmental science to statistics to computer science principles. We have 7 advanced placement courses, which gets them high school credit as well as college credit. And we have college partnerships with Kingsborough Community and with Long Island University. So kids are actually taking college classes while they're in high school. And that's possible, and while they are with us. And simultaneously, they're also, kids, and it's not like we're so enriched. We make sure that in our 9th and 10th grade, they get all the supports they need. So then those gaps that they come with, or the lack of confidence that they come with, is kind of overcome. So they know and they believe in that they can believe that what we trust in them, and they know that they can achieve, anything that is in front of them. And that's the intention of PBL.
Honestly, I haven't seen many schools offer so many options. I can see there's something for everyone here.
Yeah, that is the intention.
So, Nisi, let me ask, you provide experiences that challenge students to define their dreams and transform them into attainable goals.
Yes, and truly that is our motto, right? So it is not our dream, right? We are here as a supportive community to be able to take any student that wants, and any family that wants their child to really have access to the best teachers and the best community, and to know And kids might walk into high school and they're only in high school, right? So they could walk in and say, I don't really know what I'm going to do in college. And that's completely okay, because we believe, I know our name can be a misnomer sometimes, but we have built a repertoire of courses in humanities. We have AP classes even in humanities. We have AP classes in English, and we have AP classes in history. We have college classes it's a well-rounded system, and that's what colleges are looking for. We're looking for a robust after-school program, and we have over 20 different programs in after school. And that's the intention, that kids would come out, and by the time they come to junior year, they have an idea of what they want to do with themselves.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. I would like to thank you, Nisi, for joining us today, and I would like to thank all our viewers. Also, if any of our viewers would like to learn more about New Vision's Charter High School for Advanced Math and Science 3, you can click on the button below and you'll receive a text message with the next steps. Also, as promised, we'll be sending you an infographic with the ultimate guide for parents with kids at home, tips and tricks you need to stay sane, a video on how to raise emotionally intelligent children, and of course, the slides from this presentation. Nisi, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, thank you for having us. We're looking, definitely, here to serve our families in New York City, and this is a whole lot of fun. Thank you.
You heard me say, if you are in New
Stay
York
safe.
City, don't hesitate, give them a call, and maybe you too can join the New Visions Charter High School for Advanced Math and Science 3 family, because after all, you are a family.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, and
Yes.
have a great day. Stay safe.